Hey guys, welcome man. We're just testing out right before we go live. You guys hear me? You hear me good? Can you type yes if you do? Eddie? Awesome, thanks. What's up, Decade? You on DPR?
Should be fine, the light. Muy bien de luz.
I think we're good.
Aunque, oye, ahora sí de frente, dice que el partido tuyo estamos al revés. Te está cortando yo
Let
un
me see
poco,
we're
¿verdad?
on,
¿Tú ya tú?
if we're on,
Ahí, míralo ahí. Ahí te lo entero, ¿verdad?
a little higher, the camera.
There?
I think we're good there.
Okay, good.
A little bit higher just in case. I don't know if the special guest is gonna be low.
There.
That's good. Thank you, man.
Good.
What's up, guys? Just give us a few minutes. We're running a little late. Mr. Freddy forgot the. I forgot the to hold the camera. So we improvised. I think we got a few minutes, right? We got about 2 minutes. What do you think about ourselves, man? Good? And my laptop is always updating thanks to my wife. We're gonna go over a few questions. We're gonna go over a few questions and that was asked by a few of the members. So hopefully you guys hold on. And we're gonna have also a prize. We're gonna raffle out a shirt, a DPR shirt, just like mine right here. Okay, and I'm gonna at the end. That's gonna be at the very end. So hopefully you guys stay with us till the end. Hey Will, what's up? You guys we would love for you guys to be in the chat, but if you're not, you know, as always, we're gonna leave the recording, the video. We're gonna post it on various DJ sites, so I'm pretty sure you'll be able to see it later. All right, we're just waiting for my better half. And we'll be almost ready to go.
Hold on 1 second.
So let me see who I got there today. Who's in the chat? DK, he's always there. DK was up. Falcon. Oh, Mr. Menaces. Eddie, what's going on? Good luck to your Cowboys this week, Eddie. They're gonna work. They're gonna play against the Green Bay. Ooh, Candela. We got Alex Lopez. What's up, Alex? Julian, what's going on from New Jersey? That used to be my hood in New Jersey. Too cold for me, man. Love Miami, man. We have 11 people, 10 people. They're dropping like flies. So we're gonna give just a few more minutes. A few more people log on, and we're gonna begin with the first few questions. As long as my man, Mr. Willy, prepares our questions in order. He needs a donation on a printer. So you guys have any donations to make? As far as printers, we'll be glad to take it off your back. So it's 8:02. Just give us a few more minutes. I know we're late. Not so good on my part, but traffic was kind of bad. We're in Miami, you know. I should have left a little bit earlier, but thanks to my wife, I couldn't. So if you were with us in our last video, I think we did it back in November. You know, we answered 10 questions from members, and they were very great questions, by the way. We got good compliments, you know, from that show. So we have more new questions now, and they're pretty good questions too. So I hope, you know, it really helps you in you know, your events.
I'm just gonna take a picture of this thing. We'll do it like that.
You can print it?
Print it a second. No, I'm just gonna take a picture of it.
All right.
No, but I'm using another iPad.
Huh?
I'm using another iPad.
If I could go in my chat, I could at least see the questions on my chat.
Okay, one minute from here, man.
Guys, those of you who are members of DPR there and you're with us, if you could please share the link on your pages, we'll appreciate it, man. You know, any promotion for DPR is good promotion. So try to share the links if you can. We'll appreciate it. I'm just going to log on here because, like always, my tablet is always updating because we hardly use it. So,
how you doing, guys? Happy New Year to those that I haven't seen. We should probably pretty much everybody, but Happy New Year to everyone. I hope this is a very good 2017. Filled with health is the main thing, of course, and then to do as many gigs as possible and to do what we love, entertain. My apologies, my printer acting up at the last minute. I had to just take a picture of the screen and I have the questions right here. So nothing's gonna stop the show.
The show must go on.
Yes, sir. We also, unfortunately, one of the other administrators, Rocco, was supposed to be here to be taking care of the questions online and answer any of your concerns or any other questions. But unfortunately, he has some family in town and he won't be here. Or maybe he shows up. Who knows?
Maybe he comes in.
So here's the list of questions. We're gonna. I mean, it's a few, but I know that every one of these questions are gonna have several answers and ideas and different point of views. So let me just wait until
my tablet is not going on now. So if you got your tablet.
Yeah. So okay. So I'm gonna start with the first question. While Freddy finishes there.
Well, before we get into that, we want to thank you, DPR. We also want to thank the members from Serato 101. That's another page, another group that I administer. We welcome you guys for tuning in. We hope what we're gonna cover today helps you some way, somehow, to provide a better service in your company. And like we always say, you know, with our years of experience, you know, we're gonna answer the questions to the best of our ability. Doesn't mean that is right, that is wrong. It's just our opinion. So, you know, hopefully what you take from this today helps you in some way.
Exactly, and like I said, we have many years of experience, but it's just personal. I mean, Freddy has his experiences, I have had mine, and we just want to help anybody out there. I mean, I wish there was something like this when I started. I would have not made a lot of mistakes that I did, and would have probably made my life a lot easier. But there's never better time like the present. And we can do it for the next generations of DJs. It works too. So, you think you're ready?
I'm ready. I'm gonna try. If you guys have questions, we're gonna try to get through our questions here. But if you do have some questions, we'll try to get it. Can you bring up Facebook on your phone? On your phone?
Yes. Give me one.
If you could, so that way we have multiple ways of trying to check for questions. We're trying to multitask here. It's only me and Willie. We were supposed to have another administrator help us, and also our special guest. Somehow he's a little late, so hopefully he gets here in time. And if not, it's gonna just be me and you again, man.
Yeah.
You know, what can we say? You know.
Sorry about this. Let me lower the volume.
Yeah, lower that. I'll hold that if you want, and I'll go over. So, guys, if you have any questions, you know, feel free to ask it. And when I say, okay, toward the end of the show, when I say to ask a question, okay, for everybody who's online, all right. When I say ask a question, we'll answer one question, okay? Willie and I will select the best question, and whoever questions I select, I'm gonna send you a shirt. How about that, man?
Just like this one.
It pays to be online listening to Willy and Freddy.
Yes, it does.
All right?
Okay.
So let's go. We're ready for some teaching.
Okay, guys. Our first question is from one of our members. Right, his name is Eddie.
Eddie, what's up, man? Eddie was there.
Eddie, thanks for being there,
I don't know
bro.
if he's still there. Eddie, say hi at least, man. If you're online, man, we want to see you.
Thanks for being here, bro. Okay, this is the first question that we have. What time is an appropriate time to ask the client if they want to continue the event and go into overtime? And when do you consider appropriate to collect the payment?
Good question, Eddie, man. Good question. It happens to all of us.
So,
you know,
let me hear you, Freddy, your take on that, and then I'll give my opinion.
First of all, you know, any overtime is good overtime. I love overtime. That means that we stay there, we collect mucho more dinero.
Yes.
Right? So, in my case, I usually go up, all my events, I usually go up 15 minutes prior to my ending time. I usually go up to the person who contracted me, and I ask them if they want to extend another hour or not. If they do, you know, I go ahead and play it, and then I'll collect at the end. You know, I'm not gonna make them go there. Okay, you have to sign, you have to go on my website. I'm not going to do that because most of the time they're probably either drinking or dancing or whatever. So, I've never had in all my years, I've never had a problem. Usually, if they want to extend it, it's not going to be because it's a boring party. If they want to extend it, it's because they're having a good time and they want to continue the party. 99.9% of the time, you're never going to have an issue. I've never had it. I've never heard anybody so far having an issue of not collecting it. But, it's always good, like we said in our prior video, get paid before. Sometimes we can't. So if we can't, have options, give options. They could either give it to you, cash, check, or credit card. Nowadays, if there's so many options to pay by credit card that there's no reason for DJs not to have it. Everybody should have it. So in my case, 15 minutes prior, I go and I say, Maria de Tal, it's 15 minutes left. Do you want to extend it another hour? They're already going to know the price because in the contract you state your overtime rate, so they'll know already. And if they say yes, I stay. Now, once I get that overtime again, 45 minutes, 15 minutes before I end, I go up again and I ask. Sometimes I say, I get a yes. Sometimes I say, okay, thank you very much, this is it. So 15 minutes prior, 30 minutes prior, I think it's a little bit too long. Maybe 15 minutes, they'll know whether, the guests are there and they still want to party. So I think 15 minutes is a good amount of time, before.
In my opinion, first of all, if you're getting into overtime, hands to you. That means that you're doing a great job.
Yes, sir.
People are jamming and people want to continue jamming. Now, the way I approach it, I do it in two stages. First, I go 30 minutes prior to my ending time, and I just kind of start, presenting the idea. If we were to go at ending time, if things are going well, would you want to extend it for another hour of overtime? And then, like Freddy said, 15 minutes prior, I'll come and let them know, okay, it's 15 minutes to the end, and when they see the dance floor packed, they're probably most likely going to say, go ahead. I've never had any issue either getting paid for overtime. Sometimes they even hire me for the extra hour, and maybe 30 minutes later the party ends for whatever reason. The cops, sometimes they just leave for whatever reason, and I still get paid my full fee. So basically, I would say you can do it 15 minutes prior to, or like I do, just giving kind of like the heads up, half an hour to close. Or to the end. So they start thinking already. Do we want to pay for the extra hour? Yes or no? And that always has worked for me.
AJ asked at the beginning of the event with banquet halls. Sometimes we're not working at banquet halls, AJ. Sometimes we're at a house, at a club that doesn't have anybody in charge. They just rent out the place. So your best bet is of course, if you're at a hotel, the client most of the time, if they're going to extend an hour, is because the venue already allows them to. But anyways, just to be sure, you go also always to the captain, to the person in charge, and you ask, hey, my client wants to extend another hour. Is there a problem with it? And that's a great idea.
That's a very good point.
Good
point. Because for example, when we do most of these events that we do at hotels, the client can say they want whatever they want, but the main person you have to talk to is the captain and the person in charge of the venue. Because I've had it where the client had told me yes, and when I go to the venue person, they go, no, they haven't paid us yet. Because in that case, they have to pay first. They don't let them just take the hour and pay later. So, very good point there, Freddy.
Yes.
Question number 2. We good? Okay. Question number 2. Ramon Mas. I don't know if Ramon's online.
Ramon Mas.
Ramon. Okay. Maybe a simple walkthrough normal setup. What he would like to know is, what's like your rule of thumb, how do you set up your equipment? How you approach the venue when you get there? What's the first thing you do? How do you, what goes first? The speakers, your controller, your table, your facade, obviously that's the end. Sound check, lights. How do you approach that?
Okay, well, in my case, the first thing I like to do when I get to a venue, once I know already where I'm going to set up, hopefully is way before in advance. I already know where I'm going to set up. The first thing I do is I open up my facade. For some reason, you know, I was always getting asked this question. Are you going to leave your table like that? Are you going to leave your table like that? So the first thing I do, so people won't see all my mess, all my reguero, Cuban way, you know, is I get my facade, I open it up so nobody can see what I'm doing back there. And they can't see all my mess that I have back there while I'm setting up. So that's the first thing I do. Then I set up my table, I put my skirt, I put my controller, I put my, you know, my board, a little board that we went over last week. Why do I use that? Last video. And then I set up my speakers in the area where I think is going to provide the best sound. Okay, not only the best sound in the area, you know, I don't want to go, you know, run cables by doorways. So I try to eliminate that as much as possible. You know, I try to have the speakers as close as possible to me, as close as possible to the dance floor, away from all the tables, so it won't bother the people. Sometimes, you know, here in Miami, they just throw us in the corner and you know, us being the professionals, we have to make it work. Okay? So, you know, and then basically, yes, you know, once you're all set up, we walk around the room, we play the music, walk around the room and see how it sounds. Not only also the microphone. A lot of people forget that. You know, you get the microphone, you do a sound check, you walk around with your wireless, and you check for feedback and where you think is the best position, you know, to provide. So that's basically what I try to do at most of my events. But again, not all the events are the same. You know, we change with, you know, whatever venue we're working at. Some venues are easy, other venues are harder. You know, so in a perfect world, in the middle of the dance floor, right in the center of the stage is perfect for me.
That's heaven, right? That's a sweet spot. Well, in my case, believe it or not, the first thing I do is I ask, whose party is this? That's the first thing I do. I want to know, I want to make sure that I'm setting up in the correct party, especially during Christmas. You know how you had 5 parties going at the same time?
Yes, sir.
I don't want to start unloading and then, oh, this is the Martinez event. Oh my God, I'm in the wrong place. So the first thing I do, I normally go, if it's a wedding, I go to the front and I look for that picture of my bride and groom that I've met before, of course. Okay, I know those guys. That's where this is where the wedding that I gotta be at. That's the first thing. Then, of course, I want to know where, I mean, I would have already an idea or maybe a little diagram of where they selected the location for me to be set up. And hopefully it's a reality. It's not something that was just on paper and then when you get there, they added 3 additional tables and they took my spot. So now where do I go? Yeah. So that's very common. I don't know if any of you guys have gone through that, but that has happened to me in several occasions. And like Freddy says, I don't put my facade first, but I might take into that idea because it sounds good. I mean, it's a good idea to cover your stuff because people start getting a little worried. Man, is this going to be more?
Yeah, exactly.
No, you're right.
I started running into that a lot, like in 8 months down. You know, I started connecting everything and I'm testing everything and all the wires are dangling, you know, right before I put up my facade. And everybody says, you know, and I kind of like, I said like, okay, let me, not only because of that, also because I had people walking. Yeah. And then I had cables. Sometimes I had my laptop, you know, power, you know, on the floor, and people walking right by, and I'm going like, oh my God, is this guy seeing that there's cables on the floor? And he was about that close to stepping on my cables. So I said, you know what? I want to barricade myself. Yes. You know, so make sure that nobody can pass in between me and my equipment while I'm setting up. you know.
That's the reason why I'm considering building myself another facade, a bigger one, like the one that Freddy has, that can hold a 6 or even 8 foot
Felix,
something like that, because I want to have like my little efficiency at the event, so nobody can come to the back or to the side. No, I'm definitely going to do that. Now, the first thing I normally set up is my sound, because lights are great, but the main thing is your sound.
Yep.
So I set up my sound, make sure my laptop.
You have to sound good.
Yeah, my laptop turns on, my music is there, my speakers turn on. I mean, thank God has never happened, knock on wood. But once my sound is taken care of, then I work on my lights. And obviously, before I do my lights, I do my sound check, like you said, and check my microphone. And basically, that's how it is.
How early do you get to the event, depending on, for instance, I'll give you guys an example. You have a small event, no lights, you know, just 2 speakers on stands and your console. How early would you arrive to that event? And we'll say it was like 15 miles away from your home.
50.
15.
15. Okay, is it a house or a venue?
Maybe a house. What would you have? Why would you change? If you want to let them know, why would it be differently a house than a venue?
Okay, to me, a house is a little less informal, a little less formal. So I have the advantage that I can get there an hour and a half before, maybe an hour before, which to me is actually late for me. And I only have to worry about me. Now, when you go to a hotel or any type of venue, you're dealing with a loading dock, you're dealing with other vendors that might be working your event or maybe other events. So you have to share the elevator.
Right.
You have to make sure that remember, you need time. The main thing is that you gotta have enough time so you don't have to rush. For example, now during Christmas, I went to do this event at the Margaritaville Hotel in Miami Beach. On my first trip, the elevator broke and we were stuck inside the elevator. Imagine, I was there 3.5 hours early for the event. But the minute the elevator stopped, my heart started boom, boom,
Yeah.
boom, boom. I was
That's why it
thinking,
pays to be early.
what if the guys cannot open the door and I'm late? Even though I'm here early, I'm gonna be late for my event. And the customer don't care about your story if you had a flat tire.
Exactly.
If there was a monkey on the road, if Michael Jackson came back alive and started doing the Billie Jean in front of the street, you better be there. And they wanted to see you ready, set up and ready. And of course, also
dress for the occasion.
Dress for the occasion.
Yes.
So, rule of thumb for me, if it's a venue, hotel, maybe a clubhouse, any sort of venue that is not a home, 3 hours. And if it's a wedding, maybe 4.
So in other words, you'll rather be chilling,
Waiting,
set up at the event,
waiting,
than chilling, not set up at your home in the couch.
or to be at a traffic light, seeing they only have an hour,
Yeah.
and I'm not there yet. No, man. I'd rather be. I mean, it's my time. I'd rather just spend it, relax. I can.
Exactly.
I mean, that's just the way, and that has worked for me. And before I used to go. My wife always complained to me, why do you leave so early? So now that we're doing the photo booth as well, now she understands why. Because you don't know what can happen out there.
Whatever can go wrong will go wrong. And you have to be prepared.
Yes, sir.
By being there extra early.
Yes, sir.
Now, before we go on, we have one question from Ernie. Ernie he created a group, the other group that I admin also, Serato 101. So those of you who are Serato users, you're welcome to go there.
Great.
Ernie was up, he's from California.
Hey!
We're way out. So he asks, what beginner program are good to start off to learn, produce your own music?
That'll be a Freddy question.
And do you mix your own tracks at gigs? Yes, we do. If I create my intro, guess what intro I'm going to play, Ernie? My intro. You know, There are plenty of programs. You know, we do. Ernie, if you have seen our workshops, DPR workshops, we always teach Ableton Live, which is what I use. But there's also Logic. You know, a lot of people use Logic. It's a great program. Some of our instructors, like Luis Veda, you know, has taught us in Logic, and it's just like using a Pioneer controller or using a Numark. What you like, what you feel comfortable with. So there are a lot of demos. You can use them, download it, use it. It's gonna be, you know, like AJ says, in Russian language at the beginning. But once you see a few tutorials, you know, you'll get the hang of it. And you know what? Once you get addicted, Ernie, I'm gonna tell you, man, you're gonna be addicted for life because it's fun, man. Once you create your own things, you're gonna say, man, I did it, you know. And yeah, I create a lot of intros, and a lot of times, you know, I'll play my intros, unless if there's another intro better than mine, you know, which there are plenty. But I try to use mine as much as I can. You know? Yeah,
I mean, I'm not as good as Freddy or Felix or Eduardo at making intros. I use theirs, of course, but it's definitely, I think it gives it a kind of like a personal touch, because I know that we all listen to tracks and we all would like to make change. Maybe that track that you play frequently, man, I let this track to do this to be a little different. So if you're able to do it yourself, it's awesome. I mean, I'm trying to get into it more and more, but of course it takes time and some hours there playing in front of the computer. So I'll get there. I want to be just like these guys when I grow up. Any other questions?
Well, yeah, let's,
okay.
I'm trying to see who else has some questions here.
Okay, Javier has the following question. Thank you, by the way, Javier, for your question. How to be prepared for emergencies? Serato or other software glitches, power or cable failure during a gig, etc. AJ can probably give good feedback on this question, because AJ is going through some rough waters now with his computer, and we actually been talking a lot about glitches with Serato. His machine, it's time for him to do an upgrade, and hopefully with the good chin that he made over the Christmas, he's gonna move on and get a newer computer. Which, by the way, he wants to talk to you, maybe, and to me, to see what we recommend. But yeah, I mean, as far as, what's your opinion, Freddy, as far as how to be prepared?
You know, let me tell you, there's nothing worse, you know, that I hate more. I could deal with a speaker, you know, here and there, but my laptop, I just can't, you know. You know, the laptops, you know, laptops have to be upgraded after a time. You know, if you had, mine is 2011, but
mine too.
I pimped it up, as you might want to call it.
i7.
You know, yeah.
i7
so
makes a difference.
Mine is a 17-inch, early 2011 MacBook Pro. You know, I've bumped up, you know, the memory on it. So, you know, so far so good. But you know what? In about maybe a year and a half, 2 years, I might think about, you know, upgrading that one and keeping my original one as a backup. But guys, you know, you have to put money aside to invest in equipment. You know, don't just get your money and blow it away. Always save a little chunk, put it away. That's the money that you have to upgrade it. Upgrade your controller. I upgraded my speakers last year. You know, in a few years, I'm gonna have to upgrade my laptop. You know, I hope I can find another 17-inch, because I can deal with those little 15 inches.
Not, they don't make them anymore, unfortunately.
You know, so you know, when that time comes, I'll see what I'll do. But if your laptop, you know, is giving you problems, you know, take it in, have it worked on. But you know, you just can't afford for a laptop to go bad. You know, take it in. If you have a Mac, you know, take it into the Apple Store. Let them go over. A friend of mine did have a problem. I'm not going to mention his name. He went to the MacBook Pro. They gave it like a tune-up. You know, they probably charged him an arm and a leg for it. But yes. But you know what? he took it in, they looked at it, they saw what was wrong, they did, you know, did a little the thing here and there to it, and so far so good. He's never had a problem before. So if it is old, start saving now. So, you know, put away $50 a month or whatever. So from here to another year, you know, you upgrade it when it comes time.
Yeah, my case is the same. My laptop, I have two MacBook Pros. My 15-inch is the one that I used to play. It's a 2011 as well. I think it's late 2011. I boosted up with memory, maxed it, 1 terabyte SSD. All those things I do myself. I have no problem with that. But another important detail. Just use it for DJing.
Yeah, DJing only.
Bro, I wouldn't even download music. I mean, I'm guilty of doing that when I do younger kids parties, because sometimes they ask you for these songs that I don't know where they find them, but I don't like to say I don't have it. Normally I try to download them. But other than that, my laptop is strictly...
That was a good conversation, by the way, DPR.
I only use it for DJ. I mean, that laptop, my MacBook Pro, is only for that.
In my case, you know, when I'm at home, I strictly do everything that I need to do on my PC at home. I have a home network, so all my computers talk to each other. So my gigging computer, I always have it, you know, on the Wi-Fi at home. You know, and when I need to transfer music to it, I just get on my PC and I do all my tagging, all my renames, whatever. If I need to, you know, do an edit on the song, I do it on my PC. When I'm ready, then I transfer it over through my network to my Mac. But my Mac very rarely goes online. I do have it online because, you know, if you don't download free stuff, if you don't open email, you'll never get infected. But if you start, you know, trying to, you know, do this and, oh, this is free, I'm going to get this and I'm going to get that, chances are you're going to get something. But in my case, I've never, ever had a problem because, you know, you just got to do it smartly. I get my file from here, and from A, and I transfer it to B. B is my Mac. I don't go on Facebook with it. I don't do anything other than, you know, for music. Music, that's it. That's all it does. You know, and chances are you're never going to have a problem. You're never going to have a problem.
Exactly. You know, I do the same. I use my iMac for everything, and since I use my music on an external drive, I do all my work on my iMac, and then I only turn on my MacBook Pro normally like a night before a gig to make sure that everything is working. But then I never go online, or try to avoid it at least. Because if I have to, I would go online. But I'm not, that is a working tool. So you want to treat it, you want to care for it, and you want to avoid having to go, I mean, you don't want to be going to your bank account online, just surfing the web on it. There are viruses for Mac. There are. Yeah. I've found there are viruses. So, I mean, they used to say that Mac never got viruses. It's true. Normally the hackers attack the bigger community, which is Windows. And it might be a little... now. Yeah, so it's moving towards Mac because more people are acquiring Mac computers. And remember, now Macs run on an Intel processor, so they try to attack that. So basically, as far as backup, I would say at least personally, I've never had an issue with my computer. I never had an issue with my Mac. I've been able to play all my gigs, no freezing. The only issue that I had, it was years ago, and it was on my Windows machine. So I'm not gonna bash Windows, but that's when I switched to Mac. As far as software glitches, power cable, failure during a gig, etc. My van, which is kind of small, I carry a bunch of cables in there. They're there right now. If I need a cable, I always have my box near me, and if an emergency arises where I have to do, where I need an extension cord or maybe an XLR cable, it's right there at hand. And also, like we discussed the other day, Now I'm keeping my I bought an iPad Pro, and I'm running it with a DJ software in it that actually you can actually. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but you can actually DJ with it, and it's my backup in case of. I can always jump there, play a song, reboot, and I mean I should be okay. But I've never had, thank God, knock on wood, that situation.
Yes. Well, Kevin Burgos has a question. What do you do when a gig comes up that requires more gear or production elements, than what we can supply?
Okay. In my case, I call the same guy that posted the question, Kelvin. Kelvin is the man that backs me up, and whenever I have the need of bigger sound, lighting, the guy is always hands down willing and able to help you. That's my to-go guy. I don't know in your case, Freddy.
Yeah. Again, when we have an event that we can't supply all the equipment, there's plenty of guys that are out there that'll rent you equipment to do. I don't like to do an event, a big event with not enough sound to that event. I did that one time, and that was the last time I did it, because I was peaking constantly, and there was just not enough sound. So the people were asking me to raise it, and I couldn't raise it because my speakers were peaking. You don't want to be in that position. I mean, there are plenty of guys in Miami that'll rent you speakers. It's always better to have more. I think, my opinion, I'd rather have more than not have enough for an event.
Yes.
I mean, that's just my opinion. And there are plenty of guys around who could help you guys. Kevin is one of them. Leroy. Mangu, could help you. So there are plenty of guys out there that'll, rent, and they're DPR members. So, just post a question in the group, and, I'm pretty sure, someone will respond willing to rent you some equipment. But no, you never want to do an event, or you don't want to promise something, that you can't back up. I mean, how am I going to promise 6 moving heads, and then I'm only going to show up with 2? Of course the client is going to get upset. So make sure when you promise something, you always.
And the one thing that I was actually, we were discussing the other day, is that always keep in mind the number of people you're playing to. I mean, don't expect that 2 speakers, 2 tops, are going to be able to handle 200 people, 300 people. I mean, I hear people saying that, no, yeah, I've done events. Okay, you can do the event. That doesn't mean that you provided the proper sound or coverage for that amount of guests. Remember, once you get, while the room is empty, 2 speakers sounds amazing. But when you start getting people on the dance floor, they start absorbing your sound, then you're going to be peaking and looking for that extra headroom that you don't have, and raising your volume, and you won't find it because it's only so much that 2 speakers can handle. So very important point. Try to make sure you know that you're prepared for the kind of crowd that you're going to be performing to.
Right. Blake has a question, which I think is a very good question, and we covered it in one of our workshops with the pastor that was in Toastmasters. I forgot his name.
Yes.
I forgot his name. I can't quite. He's gonna say, Freddy, shame on me. Shame on you, Freddy. But he says, how do you guys come up with what you are going to say as an MC? Which is, a very great question. I can tell you, Blake, I also began, Blake, by the way, he's a DJ at banquet halls. I actually had the pleasure of working with him. I was the MC while he was the DJ. So what helped me, Blake, when I began, at a banquet hall years ago, back in the early 80s. I was a great DJ. I mean, I used to love freestyle, playing freestyle booty music back in the 80s. But guess what? I used to not like the mic. I didn't know what a mic was until a friend of mine got me in the banquet hall. Okay, and then he told me, Freddy, you're very good at mixing, you're good at playing music, but if you want to work here, you have to learn how to MC. So I, had the pleasure of knowing someone who taught me the ropes. One of them, by the way, is one of our members also, Justo Valdez. He took me under his wing, and what he did, which you might want to also do, he wrote scripts for me. He wrote scripts for me. This is what you're going to say at your weddings, until I memorized it. So, all I did was change the name here and there. Since I was starting out, that was a good idea. Nowadays, I don't do it because, I like to change it up a little, when I'm doing at gigs. But at the beginning, that's what got me, to feel comfortable at gigs, because I already had memorized what I was going to say. And then, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Violence Banquet Hall. It is my honor to be here. So I had a script of what I'm going to say. So if you need a script, just PM me, and I'll send you the scripts that I had way back ago, a while ago. And I'm pretty sure you practice it, and slowly but surely, you'll get in that comfort zone. And then, it's just a matter of changing the words here and there. And next thing you know, in a year from now, you'll be the master MC, man.
Exactly. I mean, the only thing with the microphone is that you cannot erase. You cannot and pull the words back.
Yeah.
The day that I stopped feeling the little butterflies before my introductions, that day I guess I gotta stop doing it, because that's how much I care about what we do.
Right.
So. Just make sure you know what you're going to say prior to. Don't think as you speak. Try to think before and have your sentences ready.
And that's why the script really helped me, because I had an introduction as the guest, as the bridal party was coming in. I had it already what I was going to say. I had a script for the first dance. I had a script to introduce the best man. I had a script for the cake. I had a script for everything, so I had it there until I learned it. When I got comfortable, I started adding my own flavor to it, but, that will be the way for someone who doesn't have experience. That's what I would recommend. Once you get experience in it, then you put your own flavor in it.
Yeah,
so that'll help you.
That's definitely, when I came to Miami, because I came from the Dominican Republic, I didn't know how things work here, and that's how I started. But I did have the experience of being un locutor in the Dominican Republic. So you're gonna be faced like we are a lot of times. People give you names seconds before. I've had people so good that they've given me names as I'm talking. Like, I have my brain divided, I don't know how many parts. I'm introducing somebody and she's telling me on this side, oh, this person is not going to show up, don't mention her. So you have to kind of be able to divide your brain in two, and you're listening or talking at the same time. So you're going to be faced with that a lot of times. Just make sure you get all your names, and of course, that's the most important thing. Don't pronounce a name wrong, because people get offended.
Exactly.
That's why what I do, I like to go to the person and I confirm the pronunciation.
Yes.
And I read it in Spanish, because that's my main language. And when I MC in Spanish, man, I have a field day, because there I can say it flows much better for me, because it's the language that I studied.
Blake, in the group we have our first video that we recorded. Hopefully you already saw it. We went a lot into details of what I did for my presentation. So go back to that video and watch it, and you'll see what how I have everything in flashcards, and that helps me in doing it.
Okay, moving on to the next question. Or maybe this was a question that you came up.
Mm-hmm.
Is it proper to use pre-mixed music?
Oh. You mean like Ultra?
Exactly. It's not proper.
Well, you know, lots of DJs, you know, they don't like to use pre-mix. You know, I'll give you a few examples that I use it in my company. I use pre-mix when I do chill out as the guests are arriving. I created in Ableton, I created a chill out mix that's about 3.5 hours long. So once the client tells me, oh, you know, I want chill out music for the beginning, I'll go ahead and I'll play that chill out music. It's a mixtape, you know. My friend Felix Chanel also did one too. So you know, that would be one instance where I would use it. You know, other than that, if the party's bumping, you know, none of us are gonna. I mean, most of us are not gonna use a pre-mix because, you know, we like to mix on the air because we know how to mix. So, you know, we like to do it live. You know, sometimes I probably have sometimes I have a gig that are probably only 2 people sitting on a table. Yeah. You know, that's a good time to throw in a pre-mixed CD. You know, so you know, there are a few times Willie and I played at on a boat. You know, when everybody was downstairs and nobody was upstairs, we threw in a pre-mix because we were tired. It was like an 8-hour event. Yeah. So, you know,
hip-hop event.
You know, exactly. So we just threw in old school, you know, my old school mix. And, you know, that gave us a break for about an hour. And then, you know, when they started coming up, then we started going live. You know, because Willie said, hey, we played too much pre-mix, man. So, you know, he got right back in there.
Yeah, so, yeah, like Freddy said, I mean, I would only use it on occasions like that. But other than that, if it's when I have people on the dance floor, forget it. That's my time for creativity and my time to come up with songs that I know they're going to start screaming. That's definitely...
Yeah, and guys, don't take credit for other people's work, man.
Yeah.
That is low in the industry. Don't do it. It's not cool.
Yeah. Okay, guys, moving along. Another question. Insurance.
Oh.
Why should I have it? That's how can I tell you? If you don't have insurance nowadays, you won't be working at a lot of venues.
Yep.
It's become now it's pretty much like a must at every hotel. Even clubhouses have asked me for insurance. Thank God I've never needed it as far as how to use it, but it's a trend, and that's what they're demanding. They're demanding that from us. Even, you know, prior to the event, you have to provide it. If not, you can always buy the day off insurance, which is like about $100. But if you don't want to carry a policy, but for us, it's more convenient to just buy the whole year, and we use it when we need it.
Exactly. The day you're gonna wish you had insurance is the day that a speaker falls on someone, and you're gonna wish you did have it. Okay, so you know it's not only liability insurance. You need to insure also your equipment. You know, if you have the funds. Most DJs nowadays, you know, the majority of the DJs here in Miami, they don't have the funds to pay for a liability. It's a good, you know, if you have money invested in your equipment, protect it. You know. But yeah, you know, if you want those high-end events, the first thing, you know, in the emails when I receive from my clients is, are you insured? That's the first thing they ask. Are you insured? If you're not insured, you know, you're not gonna get that high-end event. So, you know, you only have to invest, guys, $289, I think it is. You know, in liability insurance. That's, you know, if you want to insure your equipment, then that's going to be a little bit more. But at least have liability insurance. If something happens, if you break a mirror or, you know, whatever in the venue, you know, you need to be insured. You know, you know.
Yeah.
You don't want to face those legal issues.
It's a must-have nowadays. Another question. This is a subject that it hasn't happened to me, but I actually included it in my contract. Talking to your client or speakers, the person who's going to be doing a speech about dropping the mic. The new
drop
trend.
mic.
Drop mic. In my case,
The mic drop.
it hasn't happened to me, but I have it as one of my my bullets in my contract. That if you drop it, you bought it. If you drop it, you pay for it. So I've thought sometimes, man, maybe I should keep not such a good mic for those moments for them to use in case they drop it. But then you don't want to compromise quality over something like this. So basically, in my case, I have it in my contract, and I don't even mention it so far. I haven't had to mention it to anybody, but it's in my contract. And they have to initialize that they read it.
Exactly.
In your case.
You know, in my case, whoever I give that mic to, first of all, I have two wireless mics. You know, like I said, we covered this, I think, in our first video too. I have two mics in my set. You know, if you have a wired mic and they're not in far distance, I would advise you to give them the wired mic. You know, just in case if they do it. You know, maybe you talk. I always talk to the person who I'm handing the mic to, but maybe that person is going to hand the mic over to someone else who I haven't told. So, you know, if you have an older mic, give up that older mic, you know, in case if they do it, you know, they're not going to break my good mic. But, you know, I've heard DJs who had to have to deal with that, and that's not a position that we all want to be in, because, you know, the least thing I want to do is go up to my client and tell them, hey, look, you know, I'm out of a $600 mic. You know that's gonna be the end for that client. You know, so I try to, you know, if they do it, they're gonna do it to my old mic, not to my new mic. I'm still gonna be upset, but
not as much.
But you know, I mean, talk to them, tell them, hey, look, I'm gonna give you the mic. Please do not do it. If you do it, you bought it. Most of the time, people are not going to do it. Now, if they hand it over to someone who has had a one too many, you know, and he decides to do it, then, you know, there's going to be a problem.
Yeah, another issue with the toast and the mic is that I don't do it every time, but I think you have to kind of give them like mic education.
Exactly.
Please don't put the mic by the belly button and then expect me to crank the volume. You know it's going to give you feedback.
Exactly.
So,
and then they speak like,
yeah, come on, man. If I hear let's say I'm talking and I sound loud enough, but then you give it to this guy and then he's talking with the mic over here. Man, please, man. I mean, I guess I should do it. Just come to them before they start speaking. Please, I'll put the mic next to your mouth so it sounds better. But I don't know what you guys do, but I think I'm gonna have to start making it like, you know, like a rule of thumb that I'm gonna do it every time to avoid those cases where they're talking with the mic down here and then nobody can hear them.
Yes. Always talk to them. Let them know. You know, I always, even though sometimes you tell a person 2 or 3 times they forget and you see their hands start going lower and lower and lower for some reason. You know, whoever you give the mic to, tell them, hey, as close as possible to you. You know, and please do not drop it on purpose. You know, that's the most we could do. I mean, other than that, if you can have a wired mic backup, we all should have backup anyway. So try to have another mic connected and try to give them that one if they're not so far away. If they're far away, then you have no other choice than to give them the wireless, you know, and pray that they don't do it. But, you know, talking, you know, most of the time they don't do it if you tell them. How many more questions we have?
We have really 3 more.
3 more questions.
We're running out of time.
We're almost there. We're almost there, guys.
Guys, this is another question. It's like a scenario. I love it when they say we need you only for 2 hours after dinner. Can you? After dinner, can you start? What do you do? Listen, you need me for 2 hours, but you need me to be set up there during dinner. Correct. So the same fee applies as if you were playing or even if you were just sitting there looking at the ceiling. You're there.
Exactly.
You cannot go and do another gig. You cannot go and go to the supermarket.
You cannot take your wife out for shopping.
I can. So it's the same principle. You gotta pay for the time that I'm gonna be there. Even if I play only 30 minutes at the end of the night, it's not my fault. You hire me to work 4 hours. If you need me 2 hours after dinner, I'm not gonna get there 10 minutes before dinner. I can't.
Right.
So I gotta be there set up before. Basically, you treat it as a regular 4-hour gig, but you start playing when they tell you.
I'll give you a few examples. A lot of times, it's either they have a band coming in, or for some odd reason, they don't want music on from a certain time to a certain time. They want you there at 7:30, but at 8:30 to 10, something is happening that you're not going to be needed. You know, but guess what? That's time that you're there. If I'm there, you know, I need to get compensated for that time. You know, if it's a good client of mine, you know, I may bend a little. I might tell them, hey, look, you know, I'll work with them and give them a break. But if not, if they tell me from 6 to 10 and whatever they're doing is at 7:30, you know, that falls in my time. I usually tell them either do it after I leave, or if you do it, you know, on my time, I'm still going to be getting paid for that time. You know, most of the times anyway, you're there working because the mariachis, if they're working, you give them microphones, so they're using your system anyway, so you need to get compensated for that. You know,
exactly.
I've had that occasion where the clients have come up to me and say, hey, look, we're gonna have a Hawaiian show or whatever. But guess what happens during the Hawaiian show? They use your microphone. You gotta get compensated for it.
And your sound system.
So, you know, I mean, it depends really. You know how good of a client they are. If it's a client that gives me a lot of events, I'll work with them. You know, I'll make it work. But most of the time, if it falls in my time range, 8 to 12, and there are things at 10, you know, I'm getting paid.
Exactly, exactly. This situation I know happens to a lot of us. On situations where you're subcontracted by another DJ company, and the question is it proper to give out your own business card?
No. If a DJ does that to my company and I catch them doing it, that's the last time I'm calling them. Guys, that is another thing that you don't do in this industry. With so many social media sites and so many DJs gathering around, you don't want it to spread the saying, hey, so-and-so was spreading his card at one of the events that I gave him. You know, I have all my DJs, when I hire a DJ, when I give a DJ work, they know, because I send them an email, hey, you're working for Dance All Night DJs. You are not allowed to not even have a laptop skin. That's why you don't see me with a laptop skin, because I do a lot of work for other companies. So if I do have a laptop skin, which I've had it before, as a matter of fact, my other laptop that I rented on Sunday had a laptop skin. So guess what I had to do? I got 2 pieces of paper, okay? Believe it or not, I got 2 pieces of paper, and I put transparent tape around to cover my logo, guys. You don't want to advertise. It's not your gig, okay? If it wasn't for that person giving you the gig, you'd be home on your couch. So have respect for that person hiring you. Don't do it. It's not cool. It's you know, it gets around. You'll get around. You'll be known as a person who got hired by another company giving out, you know, advertising your own. If they don't allow you to do it, you know, respect the rules and don't do it. I don't like it to be done to me, so I don't do it to nobody. And I work for a few big companies here. Even this guy right here, Mr. Big Honcho. So, you know, I think that's a big no-no in the industry. And they'll get around once someone, believe me, in those DJ gatherings, it gets around, man. Don't do it, guys.
I agree 100% with Freddy. I've been a victim of the same situation. And the funny thing is that I happened to find out like 3 years later, because I happened to see the client at an event that I was doing for somebody else. And she told me, hey, thanks for the guy that you sent me. He's done all this number of parties for us. I said, well, hold on. This was like about 3 years ago. How many parties? She said, oh, more than 10. So that means that this individual not only play for me or for representing my company, he took the client. And I know that's something that goes around a lot. There's plenty of work for all of us here. More than plenty. Now, there's no need. I don't even carry my own business cards when I work for somebody else.
So you don't get the intention.
So there's no, if they need to contact, in this case, when I work for Freddy, for example, call Freddy and tell him you want Willy to do your event. That's it. If Freddy can give it to me, I'll do it again. If not, that's fine with me, because that was Freddy's customer to begin with. So I don't have to be taking a customer from him or anybody else. But please, guys, let's just respect each other. And if you respect your fellow DJ that is giving you work, you're going to get more from that from where that came from.
Definitely.
Now, I can guarantee you that if you do it, you give on your card, I found out. You're going to find out.
And it's very easy. It's very easy to find out. You know, either a person can be at that event and ask him for the card, and that could be, you know, a good friend of mine just wanting to see what card that DJ is gonna give. So think about it, guys. If you want to continue working for that company, you know, respect it. And, you know, don't give out your business card unless they absolutely told you, hey, it's okay, go ahead and do it. Exactly. But in my instance, when I give some of my DJs events, I do an electronic business card, you know, with the dance night DJs, and I put their name. So if that client or whoever in that party, he gives the business, I actually ask them, you know, to get that client's phone number and then send them the electronic card. When that client calls, he's gonna ask for that DJ. So then I know that party is coming from that DJ, okay? And that's the DJ who's gonna get the work. Cause me personally, in my company, I like, if I send a DJ to one client, you know, nowadays people like, you know, if that client called me back, it's because that DJ did a good job, and I wanna keep that DJ whenever possible to that client. You know, for some reason, that client liked them, so, you know, I'm going to continue to send them to that client. You could ask Eduardo. Eduardo has been playing 3 years. A client that I sent them to one time, she's called me back 3 times, and guess who did the party 3 times? Eduardo, because that client likes the way that he plays. So I keep sending them to that event. I don't even go to the event. I send Eduardo. You know? So guys, don't do it. That's considered real low in the industry, you know, taking business away from the guy who's feeding you. Exactly. He's feeding you, and you're taking business away from that guy. It's not cool, guys. Yes. Don't do it.
Guys, this will be the last question.
The last one. Right before we go into the last question, I'm going to be monitoring the phone here, which is bigger, and I'm gonna get one of the best questions that I see that we haven't covered yet. Okay, so ask a question. Those of you who are tuned in, we have like 21 guys. You know, so if you're watching, ask a question now. The best question that I select is gonna win one of these cool shirts, man.
DPR representing.
Okay? You just have to pick it up. If you're in Miami, if you're out of Miami, unfortunately, we have to mail it to you, and you know, you have to pay postage. Okay, so we're gonna ask one more question. Start thinking of a question, type it up, and I'm gonna select the best question of the members listening in.
This question was thought by one of our administrators, Leroy. It's several questions in one. This is what he says. How much is too much social media? When does the client's perception change where you're only worrying about promoting yourself and not focused on the event? How many pictures, how many videos and selfies should be acceptable at an event?
Well, in my case, when if a client notices that I'm taking a lot of pictures and a lot of videos, you know, I'm there to do a job, you know, to play music. And most of the time, you know, I don't even think about it because I'm too busy, you know, trying to see what I play and all that. But, you know, it won't happen to me because I'm not that big of a camera guy. You know, I won't, you know, I don't almost hardly eat even at my events, you know, because I'm too into the event. You know, I'll take a few pictures before or after, maybe during the event, but, you know, I mean, somebody knows when they're taking too much pictures or too many videos. It's obvious, you know. What can I tell you? And for sure, I don't want my client to be upset at me because of that. I want them to be upset for something else, but not because of that, because I'm there to do a job. You know, so nowadays, you know, we do want to advertise ourselves, and, you know, if I can, I try to have my wife or you know, the assistant that I'm with go around the room, take pictures, because, you know, we have to promote ourselves, and I take a lot of videos for my website also. So I try as much as possible to have someone else do that. You know, listen, all it takes is one time that you're out there. Imagine this, you're out there taking a video or taking a picture,
and the music stops.
And the music stops. Or someone goes behind your equipment and pushes a button, which I've had that happen to me before. Okay, luckily because I was in the restroom. But we don't want to put ourselves in that position. You know, if the client sees you there taking a picture and someone's behind your booth and just hit, you know, the pause button, what then? So, you know, I don't like to be placed in that position. I try to have, if I have an assistant, go out and take pictures as much as possible, you know. And of course, as far away as possible. You don't want to take a picture of someone and they're not supposed to be there at that event, and you post it on social media, and voila, that guy goes, oh, this guy, and then his wife finds out that he was at the party, and he gets thrown out of the house or sleeping in the doghouse. So you have to be careful, guys. You know, social media is a double-edged sword. Don't, you know, if you're going to take pictures, take it far away. You know, don't try to not get too many people's faces so they won't know that it's them in the picture. So they won't come back to bite you. So just, you know, be careful about that.
Yeah, I agree with Freddy. I take a few pictures. If I have one of my kids with me, I ask them to go and, which they don't like too much, by the way, to go around and take videos. One thing that I think it's improper, and it has happened to me, is that you don't want, when the client comes to you, you don't want to be with your head down on Facebook or posting or something. You want to be, you can be with your head down looking at your computer, looking for songs, but to be on your phone more than if they catch you 1, 2, 3 times, I think it looks bad. For example, I had a situation where I sent one individual to do an event at a house, and the mariachis showed up. And my boy happened to be on the phone with his back towards the guest. He was like this, talking, and the mariachis was right here, and the client was, hey, like, no, stop the music, and so they go the mariachis. But he was on the phone having a sweet conversation, I don't know with who, not even looking to the front. So you don't want that, because the client's not going to like that. Always put yourself in the client's position. If it was you, and you had somebody there that you're paying them to entertain you and your guests, and you want to go, and you have entertainment coming in, you want the guy to be on top of the game. You know, be ready and ready to hand the mariachis the mic and bring out the music. So just be careful. Don't overdo it, because it'll look bad on you. No?
Try to take an assistant whenever possible to take pictures, but try to be as much as possible in the booth. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong when you're not there. I had one situation. I think I posted about this in the group one time. I went to the restroom one time, and I had a lady come in with one of these microphones. Okay, and you know what she did? She saw a 1/4 inch in my board, and she just got her microphone and she connected. And I didn't even know that she did that. Okay, how I found out, when I came back to my booth and I began playing, I started hearing somebody talking. You know, I was going like, oh my God, I'm getting interference. So I turn off my mic, and I still hear it. So I unplugged the XLR from my mic, you know, and I still hear it. And I say, wait a second, this can't happen. What's going on here? You know, so it so happened that there was a lady while I was in the restroom, you know, doing my duties. She came in and she plugged her microphone, and it sounded bad. And I said, oh my God. And when I noticed it, I unplugged it, and she came back to me because she was trying to talk and she couldn't hear it. Hey, what happened to my microphone? I go, lady, don't ever do that again. You know, so you know, I hope it doesn't happen to you, but that's what happened to me for not being behind my booth. You don't want to be put in that position. All right. So we covered all the questions. We have one question, and congratulations, DJ Eddie Ortega from Angelitos Banquet Hall, man. We're gonna give you a shirt, buddy. You just gotta pick it up, all right? And I'm gonna answer this because Eddie, I worked at Violence Banquet Hall for 15 years, man. So I know what you're talking about. So Eddie asks, how do you negotiate your fee with a banquet hall who is set one price but gives you a certain amount of parties a year? A lot of parties a year. He put like 120, but I understand. I was in that position. I worked at a banquet hall for 15 years. In the 10th year that I was at the banquet hall, in the 10th year, believe it or not, I was the house DJ. Violence Banquet Hall, no longer there. I used to work Friday. I was the main DJ Friday, Saturday, and sometimes even 2 times Saturday and 2 times Sunday. And you know what? I was always there. Rain, snow, well, no snow, but rain or shine, I was always there. Never. And when I went after the 10th year to ask for a $25 raise, I got old hell. Okay?
Wow.
So listen, if you do a good job, if clients come in there and they continually ask, hey, I want Freddy to be my DJ, I want Freddy to be my DJ, there's a reason for that. Okay? There's a reason for that. They have to know, hey, you know, you do a good job, you're constantly there, you have no issues, you know, let them know, hey, you know, I've been here so long, and talk to them and ask for a raise. Banquet halls is kind of tough. For some reason, they're still in the wages that it was back in the 80s. You know, inflation has gone up, the banquet hall has stayed low. So, you know, their excuse is, oh, you know, we give you a lot of events. Well, yeah, you know, but I'm here. And I'm always here. And I do a good job. And your clients come in and they ask for me. So, you know, you have, you know, you could ask for more. You know, try it. You know, now, if they completely deny and they don't want to, and they say, hey, we can afford you, then I guess, you know, you'll be in a tough position. You either, you know, me, I have a good wife. So my wife back in the early, late 90s, early 2000s told me, Freddy, get away from the banquet halls. Start doing something on your own. And, you know, thank God I did it. And, you know, I never looked back. You know, mobile, I was in that same position. Oh, I just like going, grabbing my laptop, opening it up, and playing. But guess what? You're there in the same 4 walls. You're there, you know, in your same salary, and you can't get out. You can't get, it's very difficult to get out of those 4 walls, you know. So that's when I decided to go on my own. And then you also have the luxury of knowing, because when I was at the banquet hall, guess what? The other DJs didn't want to play all those bad events. All the bad events somehow ended up to Freddy, you know? So I said, you know what? I like to have control of what events I want to play and what events I don't want to play. At the banquet hall, you have no choice. You have to play whatever they give you. But, you know, so there are a lot of options. What I recommend you is talk to them. Let them know, you know, if you've been a faithful employee for a while, and I've seen some of your videos, you do a great job. You know, talk to them, and hopefully, you know, they see your point, and they give you a raise.
Yeah, that's all you can do. Yeah, I didn't. I mean, I played. Never played really banquet halls. They've hired me to not use the banquet hall DJ, and it's funny because they have made me bring my equipment, and I put it in front of the banquet hall equipment, which is funny. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, banquet halls tend to treat the DJ like icing on the cake, not respecting that the DJ is the one that makes or breaks the party, whether it's at a banquet hall, whether it's at a house, or whether it's at a hotel. If you play good music, people are going to have a good time, people are going to come back. Now, if you're not good, which is what unfortunately I've seen, like I've been a guest at some banquet halls, you're not going to have people coming back to that place, and people are gonna be talking smack about it. So yeah, I mean.
Well, yeah, I've had clients that have gone to our halls, and sometimes the halls, you know, it's like you know they have so many parties that they gotta grab whatever DJs is available, and sometimes, you know, the more parties, you know, the lower the grade, the top ones have the good parties, and then, you know, the more parties come in, then they have to continue down that list, and sometimes, you know, that happens. But you know, what I could recommend you is talk to them and see, you know, see what they say, and if they don't, it's time for you to either look for another one or get into the mobile business, man.
Exactly, man.
Hey guys, thank you, Eddie. PM me so we could get you a shirt. I only have limited sizes, so you have to pick from that. And thank you, DPR. Thank you to all my admins for doing an excellent job. All the members for participating. Thank everybody, man. The day yesterday, I spent 2.5 hours just answering everybody. You know, I like to answer everybody who wishes me happy birthday. So I was like,
happy birthday, Freddy!
You know, so thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Serato 101, Ernie, thank you, man. Thank you, all the guys over there. If you use Serato, go over, and if you have any issues, we'll help you out. Guys, thank you again. Thank you for Willy. Thank you for his wife for allowing this loud Cuban to be in the room. You know, and until next time, see ya. All right. Oh, I think this is yours.
You gotta stop right here. Compárate.